What's up, guys? If you're watching this video, chances are you're interested in doing a antenna modification or upgrade on your DJI Phantom 3 Advanced Professional or DJI Phantom 4. And in this tutorial we're going to be installing the ARGtek antenna mod onto what I had the Phantom 3 Advanced. So let's jump right into it, shall we? So again, this is the ARGtek. You guys can see it. Got this from Amazon for about 50 bucks. They sell them all over eBay. I'll leave a link in the description below so you guys can check it out if you're interested in doing this mod. So when you open the box, you're gonna see these are the actual antennas that sit outside. Okay. So you guys know, this is it right here. Inside, a little bag of goodies right here. Okay, so these are the actual two antennas, Phillips head and hex screwdrivers, two little wrenches. Apparently this should be everything that we're going to need to do this modification. Alright, and then a couple little end caps here to go on the end of your antennas when you're traveling or for storage, for protection, added protection. Okay, so now that you guys see that, let's jump right into it, shall we? I got a couple extra little tools just in case. I don't think I'll need them, but you never know. First thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to take off this back panel right here. Okay, and there should be 3 ribbon cables inside. Those ribbon cables you want to be very delicate with. Actually, everything that we touch inside this remote, we want to be extremely careful. We don't want to mess up anything on the board. Any of the electronics, they're all very delicate and should be treated with finesse. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so what we want to do from this point is we want to lift up these little paddles. The black ends, those are like little locking mechanisms, and when you lift them up, it's going to allow that ribbon cable to slide out. You can actually do it with your fingertip. I don't even have fingernails. 1, 2. So I got those two. There we go. Okay, so now they're all 3 up. So that should allow these cables to come out. Like so. Now you got to take out these 3 screws right here. that we've got this removed, it's time to actually open up the controller itself. Okay, so we're going to take off these 4 points right here. These rubber caps, there are screws underneath. Apparently they just pop right off. There's double-sided tape on here. When you go to put these back on, you're going to see there's a little notch right here. You're going to want to line it up with the notch that is here. You guys can see that right there. Okay. Just keep that in mind. So now, let's go up in here and get these screws out, shall we? Okay, so it's magnetic. Good to know, good to know. The little screwdriver that comes with the kit. There we go. Okay, there it is, guys. Okay, so now we're gonna open it. And right away, we're gonna unplug the battery cable. Okay, which is this guy right here. Okay, there we go. It unplugs. Whew. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where all the magic happens. This is everything that tells your drone what to do. Okay? It's very, very delicate. Very delicate. Okay? So now that we are here, I'm going to go ahead and point out our connections. So for our two antennas, one plugs in right here and the other right here, and apparently they crisscross. So this guy runs down underneath and comes up here, and this guy runs down around and goes right here. Okay, so next, as I was saying, we're going to go ahead and remove these out of the way, because we're going to need to make room to pull these antennas out. Okay, so there's one screw here, one screw in here, and they just kind of sit in a socket, and we're just going to basically move them out of the way and just gently rest them, okay, so we can get these guys out. All right. So there's one. Again, we're just going to just let these kind of rest and just kind of hang. Be very, very careful. They're on a very thin ribbon cable. You don't want to rip that, okay? We'll be in trouble if any of that stuff goes wrong. There's the other one. Okay. And just kind of let those rest and just kind of hang out right there. They're fine. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and unplug both of these antennas right here at this point and at this point. Basically, we just push them out, because our next step is going to be pulling these out, and it takes a little bit of force to pull these out. So we don't want to rip these out and then have these still plugged in and then do some damage and just rip the whole board out, or we could do some serious damage if that were to be the case. Okay, that's unplugged. Actually, there's a screw right here. I'm just going to remove it real quick to give me enough room to unplug this one right here. Sorry if I'm blocking the view, but I've got to really focus on this here. Okay. And now this guy's free. There we go. Now we're free. 1 and 2. Okay, so that came out just like so. It's a little bit of a wrestling match. I think it might help if we give it a little pinch right here. And there's the other one. I've got to be honest, that is not a fun part of this process. Not by any means. Oh, we've got a little bit of silicone glue here. Wow, wasn't ready for that. Very careful, because there's also a ribbon cable glued down with it. Oh shit, some more glue. Shit. Okay. Please tell me there's no glue on this end. Okay, no glue down here. Thank God. So guys, I just discovered a little surprise. There's a few dabs of silicone right here and right here, which was gluing down this wire, this antenna, and also this ribbon right here. Actually, there's two ribbons right here. Jeez. Okay, got that solved. All right, so we're basically going to snake these out. This is the old out with, this is the out with the old and in with the new. Got that guy out. All right, thank God. There we go. I had to loosen up this board right here. And there was 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. And I think I'm gonna leave this undone just for the time being, because I believe this here will give me the freedom that I will need to run the new antennas. Okay guys, now it's time to run the new antennas. So there's a nut, a washer, and a bushing, and another washer. So take off the nut, the washer, and the bushing. Okay, run it through. Put your bushing back on, your washer, and then your nut. Go ahead and finger tighten it up, and we'll do the same on the other side. Go ahead and make these guys face each other for the time being. Yeah, actually, it's going to be better off if they're going to be like that anyways. Okay. My antennas are plugged in. I think we are good to go. Just want to double check over everything. Make sure. Make sure everything looks good. You know? I think we are good to go. So one thing that I know for sure is we're going to want to make sure that these antennas are extremely tight before we go putting this back together, because trust me, last thing you're going to want to do is open this controller back up after you put it after we're done with this process. So we're good to go. Now let's put these guys back down. Just like they were. So I'm not really happy with how this is just kind of dangling here at the top. So I might pull this control out right here, move it to the side, and see if I can get this, snake it up underwards, up underneath. I could leave it, but honestly, I'm not really happy with the way it is like that. You know what? Fuck it, I think it's gonna be okay, honestly. I don't see anything. It's not in the way of anything. I honestly think it should be fine. You know what? It's fine. I'm just gonna leave it as it is. I don't see it doing any harm. It's fine just like it is. Okay? Alright. Okay, so now everything is set up. What I'm gonna do is just kind of go around, double check my work, make sure that, you know, I didn't leave anything loose, that everything is in place nice and tight, and just give it an overall visual, and make sure everything looks okay, just how it is whenever I removed it. Yep, it's nice and tight. Okay, that's good. Because you don't want to have to come back and open this remote for any reason after this. Okay, looks good, it's good. Just give a quick overview. Make sure you didn't knock anything loose. Give a quick visual inspection. Make sure your ribbon cables are all plugged in. Everything looks nice and connected and just as we found it. Again, make sure that your new antennas are torqued down nice and tight with these two wrenches. Okay, one at the bottom, one at the top. Okay, I should have told you that, but before we get to this point, as you are installing them, make sure that they are nice and tight. Okay. All right, so now let's go ahead and put this bad boy back together, shall we? All right. Plug her back in. Power cord. Okay, make sure everything is clear. Now we're gonna have to snake our ribbon cable back through here. Just like so. Give it a little snap. It's good enough for me. Drop your screws back in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now for this guy. So what we're going to do is I'd like to plug this ribbon back in first. It's all the way in there. Yep. Okay. screw it back in. It should be home free from this point. Looks great to me. Last but not least, okay, so let's go ahead and put the icing on the cake, shall we? So again, these are the little plastic caps that came with the kit to keep these protected during storage or transport. Alright, so they basically just screw right on, like so. And the proper orientation for these is to have the emblem face you, like so. Okay, and keep these perpendicular to the aircraft for best results. And that's it. That's it, guys.